Next at Eyewitness News at 4 o'clock, breaking news. CAL FIRE is on the scene of what appears to be an illegal fireworks bust in Commerce. Explosives being loaded by the truckful. And taking a live look outside, Dallas is tracking extreme heat in SoCal. Next at 4.
This is Eyewitness News with live breaking news.
Breaking news, thousands of pounds of illegal explosives found stockpiled in a warehouse, and we're live from the scene of a major fireworks bust in Commerce. Thanks for joining us, and David Ono.
I'm Ellen Leyva. You're watching Eyewitness News at 4 live on ABC 7, Hulu, and wherever you stream. ABC 7 is the only station at the scene right now of this major bust.
More than 100,000 pounds of illegal fireworks have been seized, and Eyewitness News reporter Leo Stallworth is live in Commerce with the latest details. Leo.
Yeah, my friend, it's happening just over my shoulder at that warehouse, and as you mentioned, it is a major bust. We are in the 3000 block of Tanager in an industrial park here in the city of Commerce. CAL FIRE and ATF began raiding this warehouse this morning. CAL FIRE, along with the ATF and a multitude of different firefighting agencies throughout Southern California, joining forces, seizing some 100,000 pounds of illegal fireworks. And it appears they're either about to load this truck up with a bunch of those illegal fireworks, and they've had truckloads hauled out of here all day long, folks. And again, they've seized thus far 100,000 pounds of the illegal fireworks, hauling the seized fireworks away in massive rental trucks like the one you see right there. We've seen dozens of trucks come and go filled with the fireworks. Federal authorities say this seizure results from an investigation of a current fireworks importer-exporter licensee not following laws and regulations required by their license. CAL FIRE pointing out since January, California has seen over $4 million in property loss from fireworks caused fires. CAL FIRE reminding everyone that it is illegal to sell, transport, or use in California fireworks that do not carry the safe and sane seal, and to possess or use fireworks in a community where they are not permitted. We talked briefly to a person who works in this industrial park. There's been a lot of ATF agents and CAL FIRE, and is this kind of like whoa to you?
Yeah, no, this is the first time I'm seeing this, so it's pretty crazy.
And as we speak, they are continuing doing their work, and CAL FIRE issuing this statement. As we approach the 4th of July and a typical increase in uses of illegal fireworks, this seizure should be a reminder of our zero tolerance to illegal fireworks in California. So, folks, do not use illegal fireworks, do not possess illegal fireworks, or you could end up in the same boat as the folks who own this warehouse or rent this warehouse. I don't know. But anyway, these federal agents, they've been here all day long, and they are continuing to do their work. And it still seems like there are pallets and pallets of those boxed illegal fireworks still inside of that warehouse, and they'll be pulling those out because there's still a lot of trucks, rental trucks that are sitting here empty that will be eventually filled. Live in the city of Commerce, Leo Stallworth, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, Leo, thank you. And we have more breaking news in Westlake. One person with significant injuries after a possible gas-related explosion happened at a building on West 4th Street. Inspectors are there trying to figure out the structure, if it's safe for people to return home. We'll continue to follow this story this afternoon.
Now to our other top story, and that is the extreme heat in Southern California.
We have team coverage. Inland Empire reporter Leticia Juarez is standing by in Riverside County, and our Danny Romero will have a look at the records for this time of year. But first, let's get to Chief Meteorologist Dallas Raines.
Okay, Ellen, we're going to have that heat advisory until 5 o'clock tonight. Now, we were going to have it all the way into Thursday, but NWS, National Weather Service, looked at the situation. We're going to drop that starting at 5 o'clock this afternoon. But it still covers many areas of Southern California. You can see this. And let's look at the temperatures right now. Van Nuys out there is at 91 degrees. It's 90 at Santa Clarita. Riverside is 93. And the big numbers way out there at Palm Springs where it is 106 degrees. So temperatures are hot. Danny is here right now. Danny, did we have any record-breaking highs today?
Dallas, but nothing that really got close to it. Now, the idea, too, looking forward, there's still, as you mentioned, more heat going on. Advisory going down today at 5 o'clock, but looking ahead tomorrow, still going to be a fairly warm day. The normal temperatures around Woodland Hills will be 83. The record there, 101. So, again, not going to be close to that at all tomorrow as we're starting to bring the heat down after today. So, downtown, 76, 94, the record there. We're seeing 90s also records in Burbank and for Santa Ana as well for tomorrow. And we're seeing temps, though, normally in the 70s for Burbank, for Long Beach. Lancaster tops off at 84 on a normal day. for that date. And we're going to see temps, again, hot, but not quite as hot as today, starting to move down. But the records, I think, will be safe for another year. All right, Ellen, David, go ahead.
All right, Danny, thank you. Firefighters gained the upper hand on a brush fire that started this afternoon in the Sepulveda Basin. It burned about 4 acres. No structures were damaged. The fire did disrupt bus transportation along the Orange Line. Bus Street was closed from Woodley to White Oak. Firefighters battled the flames from the air and the ground. One person was hurt, but is expected to be okay.
Now, if you plan to visit recreation areas in Riverside County this summer, you may not be able to get in.
That's because several sites may be closed because of the risk of wildfire. Inland Empire reporter Leticia Juarez is live in El Sobrante in western Riverside County with more on which rec areas could be off limits. Leticia?
Well, Ellen and David, Riverside County, especially some of the areas that are popular with recreational off-road vehicles and hikers, could be off limits this summer, especially after those temperatures start to soar. And that's because CAL FIRE wants to reduce the fire potential in these areas. As you can see, these brushes on the hillside are very brittle brown. And for some homeowners, they say that's a layer of protection that they'll take. A plume of smoke rising near Lake Matthews this morning caught the attention of residents, but this time it wasn't an emergency. It was a prescribed burn, part of CAL FIRE Riverside's preparations ahead of what could be a volatile wildfire season.
I saw a plume of fire across the lake.
Ray Raleigh lives in El Sobrante in Riverside County, where thick brush surrounds his hillside home.
There's just a lot of fuel. You can see that, right? A lot of dry brush, and so anything could spark this fire.
And that's exactly the concern for fire officials. On Tuesday, the Riverside County Board of Supervisors gave preliminary approval to close access to several high-risk outdoor recreation areas starting June 15th, citing elevated fire danger. The closures target rugged, brush-filled areas with limited access for firefighting crews, including trails near Raleigh's neighborhood.
Sometimes you see, bikers go up, even though they have a gate, but they go underneath the gate or around the gate.
According to CAL FIRE, the goal is to reduce the risk of human-caused wildfires during peak fire season. Though the area saw a dry winter, a few spring storms triggered fast vegetation growth, which has already turned brittle and brown. The areas under consideration for closure include Bautista Canyon southeast of Hemet, Eagle Canyon near Lake Matthews, Indian Canyon and North Mountain near San Jacinto, the Ramona Bowl open only from sunrise to noon, Still Peak near Meadowbrook, Whitewater Canyon near Cabazon. While the closures have not been finalized, CAL FIRE has the green light to move forward with its plans.
That is, I think, a good step.
And again, these are just some preliminary planning on CAL FIRE's part. They are still working on the final closure plans, which they have not yet announced the actual date, although they set a preliminary date of June 15th. Reporting live here in Riverside County, Leticia Juarez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Leticia, thank you. And we will continue to track the temperatures on the air, online, and on our free ABC 7 Los Angeles app. You can also stream our newscasts if you lose power.
Happening now, the start of a protest in downtown L.A. It comes after we learned that the Justice Department is dropping negotiations for settlements with the Minneapolis and Louisville police agencies.
Let's head now to Chris Christie, who is live at Air 7 over the protest. Chris?
That's right, David. That demonstration getting underway here downtown along the steps of the Hall of Justice. Dozens of protesters from Black Lives Matter now taking to the streets here. They are on the sidewalk, actually, as they set up for this protest. Again, this protest is marking the 5th anniversary of the murder of George Floyd. Hard to believe, just 5 years ago, we were covering massive protests across the city, and here they are marking the 5-year anniversary. Reporting live from Air 7, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, remarkable. All right, Chris, thank you. And still ahead, trucks are going in, but the aid is still not getting out to the people of Gaza.
And Pope Leo holds his first general audience in St. Peter's Square. His message to the world.
I'm David Gonzalez reporting live in San Pedro, where battleship USS Iowa Museum and also the Port of Los Angeles are getting ready for this year's LA Fleet Week. Coming up, I'll have all the details you need to know about this important and popular Memorial Day weekend tradition.
We are Eyewitness News, Southern California's news leader. When SoCal weather changes,
That's a Santa Ana wind. They're going to be strong.
turn to ABC 7 first.
We have red flag warning conditions. This is a big storm.
Lightning strikes happening here.
Eyewitness News, Southern California's weather leader.
Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says that it appears the leader of Hamas was killed. Meanwhile, Israel says it has sent more than 100 trucks into Gaza after agreeing to resume humanitarian aid. But so far, there's no evidence any of that has reached people who need it. The United Nations supplied trucks are carrying food and medical equipment after being inspected by Israeli defense forces. The IDF says it wants to ensure the aid doesn't get into the hands of Hamas terrorists.
Pope Leo XIV held his first general audience today in St. Peter's Square. The Pope started with a tour through the piazza in the Pope-mobile and stopped to bless several babies. The Vatican says there were about 40,000 people there, making it one of the largest crowds for a Wednesday audience. In his remarks, the pontiff called for more humanitarian aid to be allowed into Gaza. He also remembered his predecessor, Pope Francis, who died 1 month ago today. Pope Leo spoke in his native English, fluent Spanish, and the traditional Italian of the papacy.
LA Fleet Week is this weekend, and this year the event celebrates the 250th birthdays of the U.S. Navy, Army, and Marine Corps.
And now with news reporter David Gonzalez is live on the battleship USS Iowa in San Pedro with more on this celebration. David?
David and Ellen, there's something so cool and so special about being aboard this ship and museum. And this ship and museum will be a focal point as we welcome more than 1,000 service members to the LA waterfront for LA Fleet Week. And for a lot of people here in Southern California, this is a very important and very important place to be for Memorial Day weekend. The Port of Los Angeles is gearing up to welcome military vessels used to protect our shores for the start of this year's LA Fleet Week. This year is extra special as we're celebrating 250 years of the Navy, Army, and Marine Corps. Some of this year's visiting ships include the USS Mariner, USS Carl M. Levin, USS Harper's Ferry, and the U.S. Coast Guard Eagle. LA Fleet Week first set sail in 2016. It has grown into a popular event that flows thousands of people to the LA waterfront. This year, you can tour some of the active duty ships and check out battleship USS Iowa Museum. It will also feature military displays, equipment demonstrations, and aircraft flyovers. LA officials say Fleet Week is an opportunity to strengthen the bond between military service members and SoCal residents.
Fleet Week is more than a celebration. It's a chance to recognize the bravery of those who wear our country's uniform and to showcase the leadership and dedication that our nation's service members bring to the city's workforce.
And while, as Americans, this weekend, whether it be here or at stations overseas with families, we commemorate Memorial Day, we also usher in Fleet Week here now as the largest free celebration of this long weekend in Southern California.
And back out here live, you could just see some of the military equipment and also helicopters that have been set up for LA Fleet Week. It is obviously a very popular event for a lot of people. It is free to the public, so if you do want to tour battleship USS Iowa or some of the more active duty ships, you are urged to sign up for its virtual queue online. Reporting live in San Pedro, David Gonzalez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
David, thank you very much, and what a fun time and beautiful weather.
Yes.
A little warm, but by the beach, it's sort of
It's great, and they'll have more of the marine layer coming through, David, this weekend. So that is such a great show. I hope you can enjoy that. And today, another hot day in Southern California. Let's get out there and take a look at it. I have some good news. That is the marine layer, the ocean clouds coming in down at LAX. And we're going to see more of those tomorrow. That's why the heat advisory will end at 5 o'clock this afternoon. So the good news, it's going to get cooler starting tomorrow. And then beyond that, for the weekend and the holiday weekend, you're going to love it. Today, it was 88 degrees downtown. Definitely a hot day for Southern California. But if you're around back in 1883, which no one was, but it was 100 degrees in Los Angeles. That was just before most of the U.S. discovered our beautiful Mediterranean climate. Big fall in temperatures. It's going down. By Saturday, only 78. We'll bump it up a little bit on Sunday, but overall, the pattern is for a big cooling trend across Southern California. Right now in Van Nuys, out at the airport, we're looking at 91 degrees under clear skies. Here's another beautiful shot. One of my favorite places in Southern California. Big Bear at 70 degrees under sunny skies. Temperatures around the area up this hour. The hottest right out there in the Van Nuys area and also around Riverside. Riverside reporting 93 at this moment. Southwest winds, a little sea breeze starting to work from Huntington Beach into Anaheim. Looks really good. And Hawthorne also, a little batch of that marine layer clouds. It's not very much of it. We'll see more of it tomorrow morning and then even more as we head toward the weekend. Air quality through this heat wave has actually been quite good. We've had a couple of areas yesterday, remember, where we did see some unhealthful air out there, but that is ending. Okay, we talked about this dome of high pressure and that it would remain kind of south of Southern California, and that would keep us from getting super hot. I love this shot. This is the water vapor, and you can see this big blob of red. This denotes the center of the high. It continues to move off to the east, and we have a weather system that shows up now. This one is going to come down, so that will cool us off initially as we get into Friday. There it comes. No rain with it, but it will generate some cooler onshore breezes. And then that little ridge builds in for Sunday and then cooler weather next week. So overall, we're looking very, very good. The heat advisory will expire in about 45 minutes. 61 degrees tonight in Fillmore, down to 59 out there in the valley area, 60 at Anaheim tonight. Going to be at Big Bear Lake. Fairly nice night, not quite into the 30s at 42. Then highs tomorrow, San Bernardino and Riverside running about 91, 92. Cooler down on the coastline, and it did add that marine layer for Huntington Beach tomorrow. Going to wake up in the morning and have that marine layer clouds for you. Your afternoon high is 71. Going to be in Glendale, 84, and out there in the valleys between about 89 and 91. Here's 7-day forecast, and a little bit of the marine layer starting to show up tomorrow. The record for the date for tomorrow is 94. We will be about 85. Then we cool Friday to 78. Then a good sea breeze working for the weekend into the Memorial Day at 76. And beyond that, look at that. Beyond that, I don't have anything really hot for Southern California, even though I'm forecasting a very hot summer coming up this year. Valley's 92 down to 82, drop at 10 on Friday, then more cooling as we go into Saturday. Now down at the beaches, we'll have that fog in the morning at 73. Then it's going to be much cooler at the beaches too. Clouds stay at the beaches till about 1 o'clock in the afternoon over the weekend. So that's a big change. High temperature about 64, a little warmer as we get into Sunday. Headed to the mountain areas, Big Bear's last really warm day is tomorrow. Then it cools off quite a bit. Breezy out on the lake by Saturday afternoon. And in the desert area, still 106 tomorrow at Palm Springs. Then we'll drop it to 102, 103 for the weekend. So cooler weather is coming. You're going to have to deal a little bit with the gusty winds. We'll check the weather for you again in just a few minutes.
All right, Dallas, thank you.
Thank you, David.
It is a new way to fight fires before they happen. In North Lake Tahoe, this remote control vehicle known as a burn bot is removing flammable brush by mulching it and then burning it. Yep, the brush is then turned to ash. The makers of the burn bot say it can clear 22 acres of brush in 3 days, even on a steep slope. Normally, it would take a crew about 2 weeks to do the same thing.
It's more manageable from the inception of the fire to our response time to get on scene. And this will definitely reduce the risk of it becoming a catastrophic fire.
The company that makes burn bots says the remote-controlled machines won't replace hand crews, but free them up to do technical work. North Lake Tahoe Fire is hoping to use different types of burn bot machines that can conduct prescribed burns and extinguish the flames.
The Indy 500 is this weekend, which means, ladies and gentlemen, start your weenies. Yeah, you heard me. For the first time ever, all 6 Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles will race Friday in the Weenie 500. Each one represents a popular hot dog from different regions of the country, from the Southeast Slaw Dog to the Midwest Shy Dog. Traditionally, the Indy 500 champ wins a trophy and gets doused with milk. The Weenie 500 winner will receive a hot dog and get sprayed with condiments of their choice. I added that choice. They probably don't have a choice.
I'm glad you read that. You read it well, too.
Well, Kevin's a great writer.
Still ahead, stepping up to the plate.
Today, the LA Dodgers held a giveaway in Pasadena, helping kids who were impacted by the Eaton fire get back on their feet.
And we're getting a closer look at the grounds of the Getty Villa as the museum gets ready to welcome visitors back for the first time since the Palisades fire. These stories and much more when Eyewitness News at 4 continues.
LA Alan, congratulations on an incredible 30 years at ABC 7 Eyewitness News. We will miss you so much, especially Guillermo. Right, Guillermo?
That's right, Jimmy.
Yes, we will miss you even more than you won't miss us. Happy retirement.
The Getty Villa Museum is gearing up to reopen next month for the first time since the Palisades fire, and we're now getting a close-up look at the grounds. The museum lost about 1,300 trees along the vegetation in the fire, but fortunately staff members were able to protect the buildings and collections. There was no damage to paintings or sculptures from soot or dust. The museum says it's ready to open its doors to the public on June 27th.
I think this is hopefully a little bit of light at the end of a long, dark tunnel. That's a lot of folks, it's going to take a long time to get to this point, but we're happy to be kind of at maybe the forefront of showing the Palisades is coming back.
Look how beautiful that place is.
So gorgeous.
When it reopens, the Getty Villa will initially limit reservations and cut back on the number of days it's open.
And at USC's Galen Center, more than 650 graduating high school seniors announced their plans, whether they'll attend college, enter military service, or start their career. Tuesday's celebration was Endovate's 9th annual Decision Day. Endovate is a network of public, tuition-free, independent, and high-performing college prep high schools in LA and Orange County. The company says it recently reached 100% college acceptance of its graduating seniors at each of its schools. Ednovate, well, I kind of messed that one. Ednovate primarily serves first-generation college-bound students. I promise you, I practiced it before even. And in Pasadena, 500 pairs of new athletic shoes were distributed to students and support staff at Webster Elementary. Many students and educators lost their homes in the Eaton fire. The Dodgers Foundation teamed up with the organization Shoes That Fit for the giveaway. This is the first of 2 shoe distribution events in Pasadena Unified School District. A second will take place at Jackson Elementary School.
You handled Weenie 500 so much better.
Ednovate. Am I saying it right?
I think so.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to move on.
Yes.
Still ahead at Eyewitness News at 4.
To address California's budget crisis, Governor Newsom has proposed cuts to Medi-Cal, which provides health coverage to undocumented and low-income individuals and families. I'm Josh Haskell in South Los Angeles, where some clinics fear they may have to close or cut services.
Billy and Tina, the Asian elephants who used to live here at the LA Zoo, are now in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm Sid Garcia. The legal challenges on this move are not done. I'll have that story coming up.
ABC 7 in your community is driven by your Southern California Toyota dealers and the RAV4 plug-in hybrid, paving the way toward an electrified future with its class-leading fuel economy.
Now, Southern California's news leader, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Beloved elephants Billy and Tina are no longer at the LA Zoo. They've been relocated to their new home at the Tulsa Zoo. Thanks again for joining us here on ABC 7 Hulu and wherever you stream. I'm Ellen Leyva.
And David Ono, the elephants were quietly moved overnight. Their relocation follows years of controversy about their residency at the LA Zoo.
This afternoon, the zoo is defending that move, saying it's what's best for the animals. Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia has the details.
Today, the LA Zoo says Billy and Tina arrived safely to their new home at the Tulsa Zoo. LA Zoo officials telling Eyewitness News the 2 elephants will be missed. The zoo goes on to say as they begin their new chapter, we know that Billy and Tina will receive the same love and expert individualized care that they have had at the Los Angeles Zoo.
I understand people's concerns about zoos, period, and would have much preferred them to be at a sanctuary, but it didn't work out that way.
Disappointment from visitors at the LA Zoo today that Billy and Tina no longer live here.
Well, I mean, if this is their home for a while, I mean, if they're already dramatically getting transferred from the wild here, moving them to Tulsa is probably stressful for them, right?
It's been their home for a long time. Why remove them from it? There's, like he said, they're going to be stressful, and going to a new environment is just not going to be the same to them.
After a number of court hearings to keep the elephants here in L.A. or send them to an elephant sanctuary, last week, a judge's ruling gave L.A. Zoo officials the go-ahead to move the 2 elephants to Tulsa. Judy Mancuso is the CEO for Social Compassion and Legislation. She's hoping legislation will be written and passed to ban elephant exhibits.
And that way, it's not up to the political whims of the city, the zoo director, the mayor.
LA City Councilman Bob Blumenfield, the zoo is in his district, says today that he is disappointed and frustrated by the move, and equally disappointed and frustrated by the lack of transparency, he says, and unwillingness to vet this decision in public. Also, there are still legal challenges to this. An advocacy group is hoping that if they win, the two elephants will be removed from the Tulsa Zoo and put into a sanctuary. The difference, a sanctuary simply has more room. Reporting from the LA Zoo, I'm Sid Garcia, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Well, too bad for Tina. We're going to check it out later. We're going to check in with Dallas Rains. Now, it is so hot today, and we're not used to this.
That's right. It's a little early, but we didn't have any record-breaking highs today. But we do have a heat advisory, which covers a lot of Southern California. And our friends out there in the valley, that's where it's the hottest right now. You're in the low 90s. But at 5 o'clock today, we're going to be able to drop that as we look at temperatures. Apple Valley, good afternoon to our friends up in the high desert. I love that area. Victorville, you're at 91. Hottest temperature, of course, is down at Palm Springs at 106. Idlewild, what a beautiful area that is. Also up in the mountains, you're at 80 degrees. The sun is shining. Now, some marine layer clouds are starting to reform and move down in the South Bay where it is overcast. This afternoon, we're going to see more marine layer clouds and cooler temperatures. We'll update the forecast for you on the 5. I'll see you in just a few minutes.
All right, Dallas, thank you.
All right, David, thank you.
Republican leaders are heading to the White House tonight for a last-ditch talk to salvage President Trump's multi-trillion-dollar tax breaks package. House Speaker Mike Johnson is hoping to have a vote in place by tonight. A House committee meeting that started overnight dragged on for hours and then failed to reach a consensus. Conservatives are pushing for deeper spending cuts. They worry the package will add to the nation's debt. The Congressional Budget Office says the tax provisions would add $3.8 trillion to the federal deficit.
Meanwhile, Governor Newsom has proposed big cuts to medical, and the nonprofit hospitals that serve the poor say the consequences could be devastating. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Haskell explains.
This couple of weeks, I'm basic. My throat hurt me a lot.
Salvador Rodriguez of South Los Angeles has 3 children and works as a landscaper. He's had to miss work because of a thyroid issue. When he doesn't work, he doesn't get paid, which is why the health coverage he receives through Medi-Cal is so important. But if Governor Newsom gets his way, Medi-Cal, which is California's version of Medicaid, would see cuts. The state faces a budget shortfall of $12 billion.
I don't have money to come to see the doctor, so I don't know can I handle it this, because very hard.
For the governor to actually cut back the very program that he expanded at this time, to me, just seems not only politically challenged, but also morally problematic, because we have to support the folks who work and build this economy. And all that we're asking for is that they continue to be able to receive health care services so they can continue to work.
Starting in 2026, Newsom has proposed no new Medi-Cal applications for adults who are undocumented. And in 2027, undocumented Californians on Medi-Cal would pay a $100 monthly premium. Jim Manja of St. John's Community Health says nonprofit hospitals that serve undocumented patients would see a reduction in payments as they depend on being reimbursed.
The cuts that the governor is proposing are much worse than the cuts that the Republicans are proposing in Washington. He's basically destroying access to Medi-Cal for a large percentage of California's population.
St. John's Community Health doesn't believe they'll have to close their 28 clinics in Southern California if Governor Newsom's proposed cuts to Medi-Cal take effect, but they will have to cut back on services. That could mean lack of access to medication, doctor's visits, and some layoffs. As of January 1st, 2024, undocumented immigrants ages 26 to 49 were allowed to qualify for Medi-Cal regardless of their immigration status. According to St. John's Health Centers, this allowed some of the lowest income populations to get treatment, afford medication, and improve their health.
Some of them can even pay $5 to get a medication. Now we're talking about $100.
In South Los Angeles, Josh Haskell, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
The crackdown on off-brand weight loss and diabetes treatment drugs take effect this week. The products made by compounding pharmacies contain the same active ingredients of Ozempic and Wegovy and others, but they are not approved by the FDA. Many consumers started buying these off-brand and less expensive drugs when the increased demand for the FDA-approved items led to major shortages. However, a few months ago, the FDA declared the shortages were over, and providers of the copycat drugs were required to stop making the off-brand drugs.
It's not easy being green, but it does build character.
Everyone's favorite frog has been chosen to give a commencement speech at a university, and some words of wisdom from Kermit coming up.
It's a General Hospital tradition, the Nurses' Ball. I'm George Pinocchio. There is drama in store and more than one surprise. We'll take you behind the curtain to talk with the stars about this fan-favorite time of year.
In today's On the Red Carpet Report, a daytime television tradition continues here on ABC 7.
Our friends at General Hospital have been helping to promote an important health issue since 1994, always with a dose of daytime drama, of course. Entertainment guru George Pinocchio went behind the scenes at GH for the always fun Nurses' Ball, and I loved watching you on GH.
Thank you very much. It's always fun to go to that set during that week. You know, the Nurses' Ball is once again underway on General Hospital. Now, that means you can buckle up for some big surprises. Viewers will be shocked more than once. Seems to be a Nurses' Ball tradition. Beyond that, though, the ball came to be 31 years ago to raise awareness in the fight against HIV and AIDS.
And it was just this teeny little idea I had, and I thought it would be a one-time event, but it grew into this storied Port Charles institution, and I'm very, very proud of that.
Lucy Coe once again takes the stage to steer the Nurses' Ball. This General Hospital fan-favorite week-long event always seems to set new things in motion.
We're gonna have a celebration.
The Nurses' Ball never goes off without a hitch, right?
Actually, this year it's pretty smooth sailing until the very end, and then everything falls apart.
This time, I'm so excited about this ball because of what happens and how our audience is going to be thrown into chaos by this whole thing.
Lynn Herring, who plays Lucy, says fans are in for something shocking.
I can't wait to see the reactions. It's two barn burners, literally, no pun intended, that happen.
It couldn't get possibly any bigger, and yet this Nurses' Ball brings even more drama than we ever could have imagined.
I can't give it away, but it's pretty good.
Valentini would say you can expect a couple of giant story reveals and one big casting surprise. What else is around the corner?
I'd say you're in for a big surprise with people that are very close to me. And I think you're going to see me getting a lot closer to certain characters after the Nurses' Ball.
And at the Nurses' Ball, you can always expect the unexpected. We've already seen the show's violin virtuoso take the stage, actor Giovanni Mazza, who plays Gio, performing an original song he released when he was 12. And Christina Wagner, involved in a Western number with her co-stars.
We're doing things out of our comfort zone, and we're doing things that might even be a little out of character. I just think it's a fun opportunity for us to just have a good time.
All right, you're going to see more Nurses' Ball fun all week on General Hospital. Ellen and I both have a history with our GH friends. That's her behind me with Cameron Matheson and Laura Wright. And we both stretched our wings and played reporters on the show, I think with our own names. Executive producer Frank Valentini sent over this official Nurses' Ball t-shirt for you, Ellen. So on behalf of everyone on the show, he wishes you well.
Oh.
You could use it as a nightshirt.
Oh my gosh, maybe. Frank, thank you so much. And Cameron, my neighbor and friend, and Laura was so amazing. Everyone on that show is so sweet. Oh, look at that.
It was the last
Thank you.
That Frank Valentini was involved in. So
my best friend's going to try to fight me for this, and she's not getting it, Leslie.
I think I have to say goodbye to you a little bit, but with one memory. I collect cufflinks, and Ellen has given me some beautiful cufflinks over the years. So now when I come to work and I'm wearing a pair, I will always think of Ellen Leyva.
Thank you. You are such a sweetheart, George. You are one of the kindest people I've ever met. And people love you for a reason.
Well,
yeah,
thank you very much.
You.
Don't get me emotional.
I know.
It's too soon for that. I spoke to lots of stars who have been congratulating Ellen on her accomplishment. We heard from Jimmy Kimmel earlier in the show. And here's another greeting from Hollywood. Ellen Leyva, your favorite TV news anchor, is retiring right before your movie comes out. Did you want to say any kind of goodbye to Ellen?
Ellen, you superstar. Yeah.
When your alarm goes off, Eyewitness News is on with a team that's breaking news first. ABC 7 Eyewitness News Mornings. When you need help.
You got 7 on your side.
When you have a problem you can't solve on your own.
You've got 7 on your side.
When you need results.
You've got 7 on your side.
Use the power of Eyewitness News. Share your story now with ABC 7.
Everything you need is on ABC 7. Turn to David, Ellen.
LA's longest running news team.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, there's a saying, all good things must come to an end. And today we are celebrating my colleague and co-anchor for nearly 30 years, Ellen Leyva, on her final 4 p.m. newscast. And if you haven't heard, Ellen is retiring. This is her last day, and we couldn't let her leave without a trip down memory lane.
I can't wait.
I love that early video, too.
Oh, my God, the hair.
What they just saw was first our morning show from 1996, and then the most recent promo of our show together here at 4 p.m. But I went back into the archives for this one, so I want to show you some photos.
Oh, I love that.
This is actually the very first photo we ever took together.
1996?
The summer of 96, I had just started. You had been here for a few months. And we weren't even yet an anchor team, but we were about to become one.
Oh, my gosh.
And we took that photo at a public event.
We're babies.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know how you stayed the same and I got so much older. Here's
I love this.
A little moment with, you know who, Johnny Mountain. He was our weather guy in the morning show. And this was a morning show little Christmas party that we decided to have.
I remember that party very well.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
Wow.
We're just kind of walking you through time. So here we are anchoring together, I believe, about 2010. So 15 years ago, but this is kind of like the new version of us on the evening.
Jan Brady called. She wants her hair back.
You did change your hair a few times.
Or Mrs. Brady, I should say.
Yeah. So we fast forward for a few days here, and we this is us more recently. This is what we do during commercial breaks. People have no idea the fun that we actually do here on the set. But that's me trying to do a selfie of us, and I'm trying to do that mode where our heads look really, really big.
Yeah.
But I think my aim was off, so if you look at the final result.
Oh, that's really good.
All you get is actually the chair that we
Good job, David.
Classic. That is a classic selfie.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Those are so many good times. Yeah. Most of the fun is really during the commercials and between and before and the laughs we had. And sometimes practically crying. You make me laugh so hard. You have that gift, I have to say.
The funny thing is, I held back in some of the photos. I have so many photos of you under the set here. Oh. Every time you spill your water, which is quite often, you're down there.
I'm like, don't you dare take that picture.
Yeah, don't stop taking those pictures.
Oh, David, it's been such a wonderful time working with you for, 29 years?
29 years.
I mean, that is incredible. Like, where did it go?
I think what's interesting, we did some research, but there's no such thing as a specific data on this, but we couldn't find another anchor team that's been together this long here in the United States.
Right.
We found one in Australia.
They don't count.
Yeah, they don't count.
Yeah.
But here in the U.S., we never
Isn't that wild?
found another anchor team that's been together this long.
Who would have thunk it, right? You've been such a great friend, and I love working beside you, and never seen a better reporter in my life. I hate to say that, though.
Our final selfie. I guess we can take a few more.
Maybe we'll take more. Thank you so much, and thank you for this trip down memory lane.
Thank you. And by the way, join us tonight at 6 o'clock. That will be Ellen's final newscast, ABC 7. We're going to share memories from her incredible 30-year career here in Los Angeles. She had the courage to sit down with me and answer my tough questions. That's on at Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock.
I must be crazy.
We love you. I love you. Thank you so much for all that you've done for us and for LA and surrounding areas. It's just you've been there for us. And now enjoy yourself. Go and take it. Enjoy your family. Lionel Richie, no, not Stevie Wonder. Lionel Richie signing off. I love you.
If it happens in Southern California. Stream it on ABC 7. Live newscast.
We begin this morning with team coverage.
Breaking news.
This just in.
And up-to-the-minute weather.
Get ready for some warm weather.
ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Streaming 24/7.
Someday we'll find it. The rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me.
You might call it the Commencement. Kermit the Frog will deliver the commencement address to thousands of graduates at the University of Maryland tomorrow. And that's where Muppets creator Jim Henson earned his degree. It's also where he met his future wife in the puppetry class.
No way.
So what kind of life lesson does everyone's favorite frog have to share?
Life's like a movie. Write your own ending. Keep believing. Keep pretending. And it's a reminder that your life is in your hands.
Words of wisdom for any big stage in life, whether you're graduating from college or, say, getting ready to retire after 30 years on Eyewitness News.
Well, thank you, Kermit. That is really good advice. I'm going to go by that.
Good luck.
Eyewitness News at 5 is coming up next, and for a preview, here's the legendary Mark Brown.
Oh, legendary, no. That's you. The last time you're tossing to me.
Thank you, Mark. Oh, you've been great.
Looking forward to seeing some more of you at 6 o'clock. Ahead here at 5, a brawl involving students and adults causing outrage in the Inland Empire, plus this.
The Santa Ana City Council is considering proposing an ordinance requiring its police department to help make public notifications from ICE and DHS of planned operations in the city. I'm Jessica De Nova with more on that coming up.
I'm Kevin Ozbek in the ABC 7 newsroom. Customers of a pet cremation company are turning to 7 on your side again. Months have gone by and some of them still don't have the ashes of their precious pets. The story tonight at 5.
We are Eyewitness News, LA's hometown news team.